So anyway, there's a little bit of a story with this one. So you guys remember, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but a long time ago, I actually played here somewhere, and I don't remember where, but I did a radio show here with my very first band, The Scream. Anybody remember this band? So, One Step Beyond, it was with Chris Whitley. Do you remember that? Chris Whitley, yes. I met him there. It was an awesome show. But anyway, so I'm on tour with The Scream, and what we do is usually when you go out on tour, you go out for a couple months and you come home for like a few days or a week or whatever, and they call that, when you come home, it's like, oh, I finished that leg of the tour. So I got back to Los Angeles. We had one more show left to do on that leg of the tour, and we were playing in a place in Orange County called the Marquee. And as I was getting ready to leave, we were doing a KNAC show. And when I was getting ready to leave, right as I'm walking out the door, my phone rings, and my wife at the time, yeah, I've been married a few times, that's a whole other book, but whatever. So, my wife at the time says, you have a phone call. And I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm walking out the door, who is it? She goes, excuse me, who is this? And she goes, it's Nikki Sixx. So I go, okay. So I get on the phone with him, and we're chit-chatting, and he says, hey man, I really dig your Scream record, I dig your vibe, blah, 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 whatever. Him and Tommy are in the car together. They're calling me from the car phone, which is something I didn't even comprehend at that point. Fucking car phone. I don't even have a car. You have a phone in your car. Anyway, so they're sitting there, and anyway, he goes, listen dude, gotta cut this short, but he goes, Vince is out, we'd like for you to come down. Now it's a Friday. He goes, we want you to come down on Monday. I said, all right, cool. So I went and I did my show, but then I had to sit there and think about it. Like Friday, I played my show. Saturday, I'm going crazy. Sunday, I'm going crazy. Monday comes, and I go to the rehearsal. So I walk in, all the guys are set up, tons of gear, and I walk in, and they have a music stand there. So first song we do Jailhouse Rock, because they did their version of it. We do Jailhouse Rock, then we do Helter Skelter, then we did Smoking in the Boys' Room, then we did like Shout at the Devil, all this other stuff. So they dug it. Then they go, okay, can you come back tomorrow? Yeah, sure, no worries. So next day, I come back. Now this time I walk in, the band's in there, but then they got all these dudes in like three-piece suits and ties and all this shit. And it was like the record label, the manager, the business head, the lawyer, like all those cats. And then I had the very, very amazing great fortune for me, maybe not so much for the guys in the band, but I actually got to hang out and meet with Heather Locklear and Brandy Brandt. Which I have to be honest with you, when I met them, I'm like, I'm so getting this fucking gig. Anyway, so I do my thing again, I do the whole thing all over again. And now it's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, and all the guys shake my hand, like the manager's lawyers, they shake my hand, they go, thank you for coming. All right, and I'm like, okay, cool. And Tommy gets up from behind his drums and he goes, okay, let's knock it on the head. And I'm like, fuck, over here, why don't we just jam? Let's jam for a little bit. And I was thinking, if I don't get the gig, at least maybe we could jam and write something for the next Scream record. I didn't know if I'd get the gig or not. So they're like, yeah, okay. So we start jamming. We start doing all this blues shit, and we start doing Honky Tonk Woman by the Stones, and all this shit. And then I sit down and I go, got this riff that I've had forever, and I had it in a band before the Scream called Angora, so I had that. Shut up, Freddie. Anyway, so I do that. I pull this riff out, and I go, you guys want to check this out? And they're like, oh, you play guitar. So I put the guitar on, play the riff for them, and it sounded something like this. The first song that we wrote, and we wrote it that night, it went like this.